Lincoln Live, named Best High School Newscast in the United States by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. Live from Gahanna, WGLH TV presents Lincoln Live with Mia Sammons and Jillian Sanders.
Today, a special edition of Lincoln Live.
They've already reached the level of state champions prior to their senior season.
How do two five-star athletes stay committed after all their success and after committing to college?
We sit down with Camden Bentley and Brandon Carpico.
Lincoln Live starts now.
Morning, Lincoln. I'm Mia Sammons.
And I'm Jillian Sanders. We have a very special edition of Lincoln Live for you this morning.
Yes, we start with a story that was produced by Jillian and I.
We wanted to see the behind-the-scenes look at how D1 committed athletes can commit to their sport after signing.
We got an up-close and personal look with D1 commits Brandon Carpico and Camden Bentley at just how they are able to stay motivated.
This is Committed After Committing.
We're grateful and excited for what the future holds. With that, I would like to finally announce that I'm committing to the University.
My name's Camden Bentley and I committed to the University of Kentucky.
So just off of that, I'm sure you can probably figure out going to Ohio State.
I'm Brandon Carpico and I'm committed to the Ohio State University.
My childhood sport was gymnastics. I started when I was like 2 years old in the Little Mommy Me classes, so I did that up until middle school, and I just kind of ran track just because my brother did it. I thought it would be fun to be included in a school sport, and one of my friends in gymnastics actually ran track too, so we did club together because I actually broke my wrist in gymnastics, so I couldn't really do much. So I just started running track more and kind of fell in love with it and quit gymnastics. Even though I loved it for a really long time, I kind of liked track more, and it was something I really enjoyed.
Come on, Vic. Come on, Cam. Come on.
Go, Cam, come on.
Go, come on, Cam. Come on, go.
My sophomore year, I won the state title in 300-meter hurdles and got runner-up in 100-meter hurdles. My junior year, I won both state titles in 300-meter hurdles and 100 hurdles, and I got the state record in 100-meter hurdles. This year, I'm gonna try and come back and win both, but also get the state title in 300-meter hurdles.
When I was 7 years old, my mom was at Target and she found this little driveway tennis set when I was really young, and she thought it would be something pretty fun for me and my sister to play, and I fell in love with it immediately. I asked my mom and my dad to hit with me all the time, and then I eventually started hitting off of my garage door, and then my parents put me in tennis lessons. Ohio State was a really, really easy decision for me. I grew up going to all the matches, and it was just such a great environment from when I was young, and it still is now. I created such a special bond with the coaches, the guys on the team. I really fit in amazingly there, and I knew it felt like home. And then from the academic side, I want to go into aviation, and they have a top 3 aviation program as well as a top 3 tennis program in the country. So it was the best of both worlds, academically and athletically, and it was my dream school, so it made everything really, really easy.
Well, first of all, I was extremely excited for him. It's been his dream ever since he was a kid. He was determined he was going to play some sort of sport at Ohio State, and it just happened to turn out to be tennis. As far as his dad and I, we were proud, relieved. I mean, it's not easy for any high school senior to decide where they're going to go to college. So for him to make the decision, for them to want him and him want to go to Ohio State, it was a perfect match.
I wanted to have my visits planned for all in the fall so then I could have my season committed and I could just focus on running and track. So some schools don't, when they offer you your scholarship, they have you give them an answer in a time frame. So some of my schools had a week, some of them had a month. So it was just hard for me to take all of my visits and then give them an answer. So that can be really stressful, and just all the visits and all the traveling is it kind of drains you. It's a long process, so that was also very stressful for me too.
When I first committed, Ohio State was the #1 team in the country, so I didn't think that I was good enough to fit in there. So immediately after I committed, I wanted to prove to myself and everybody else like in the country that I was good enough and I deserved to be there. And it took a long time for me to really get to think that I am worthy of that. And even now and then, like I still have times where I don't think that I deserve it, so it still keeps me going. And that's one of the biggest motivators. And then my mom and dad, they've sacrificed so much for me to get to that level and to be able to provide those opportunities for me. So my mom and dad, and then just proving to myself and to everybody that I deserve what I have right now.
My college coaches actually reach out to me a lot and motivate me. Like, she actually just texted me on Monday, like, have a great week, make it productive. So they do play a big role in keeping me motivated. I do have a couple of times where I'm like, I'm already committed, I'll be gone, whatever, just have fun. But I do want to break more records, break my record in 100 hurdles, and I haven't broken the 300 hurdle record yet, so I'm really trying to get that, and that kind of motivates me more to keep going.
I've been coaching Camden since her 8th grade year, so it's been about 3.5 years so far. At the beginning of the year, we set goals, you know, and it's like we have big goals where we want to win, we want to break records, you know, run crazy times. So, you know, every day it's like, if it's a rough day, it's like, hey, we're trying to match those goals that we set at the beginning of the year. So, you know, just not letting her forget like what we're trying to do.
I mean, he's self-motivated. I think that I try to keep things fresh and like always be working on new things and like how are we growing, not like how are these results coming along.
Another great battle here, using the entire court to his advantage. Brandon drops one in the back corner. Vignesh running backwards, but it's just low, and Brandon Carpico wins the Division I state championship in 2 sets.
Because like those are going to go up and down, so I try to make what we do about growth. That way it's not really dependent on like, oh, if I'm playing good this week, I'm going to be interested in training and have the motivation, or if I get this result, I'm going to be interested in training. It's more of like, this is a long-term journey that we're going on, and I'm in it for that, not so much the everyday, like, I got to play good or I got to play bad.
Before I committed, the motivation was to get college looks, and now the motivation is to feel worthy of that. And then for this high school season, it's a revenge tour for me. Last year I only lost 1 match, and this year I don't plan on losing any. I don't want to, and it's definitely my motivation.
I have had a bunch of just weird things happen to me at the national stage in the final, because there's usually 3 rounds in 100 hurdles, so you have to pass each round to make it to the final round. So outdoor New Balance Nationals, I made it to the final round. I had a really great start and I hit the first 3 hurdles, so that set me back, and I wasn't the race that I was planning on having. So, and it's so tough in the final round when you know that you can perform better and it doesn't happen, and it's really annoying and stressful and frustrating for me at times. And so that happened again for me indoor New Balance Nationals. There's a false start, so it threw me off. I didn't have a great race. But I think that kind of fuels the fire, and even though it's frustrating and it happens, it's gonna happen to everybody at some point. So it kind of fuels my fire just to keep going. I wanna make this national final the best one that I've had this outdoor season.
Last year, the loss in the state final, it hurt a lot. It was the only loss of that high school season, and I felt like I let a lot of people down. I thought that I let like my school down, my friends down, considering I'd won it the year before, and I lost it that year, and it was just sad. For a while, I thought it was my like worst loss. Not like worst based off of like the people I was playing, but it was definitely the loss that hurt the most. And yeah, it was a really sad feeling. It was one of the few times I've teared up or cried after a match.
What I would say to younger generations in track and field is don't be discouraged by other people performing better than you. You're on your own track, and your success may look different than other people's, so just stay consistent and have fun.
To get to the top level, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time spent. So you won't always be able to spend every spare moment with your friends, and you're going to have to sacrifice some things that you would want to do for the things that you have to do to get to that top level. And once you realize that that's just kind of what you're going to have to do, putting in the work becomes a lot easier.
Huge thank you to anyone that was interviewed, and thank you to Camden and Brandon for letting us tell your story. The Urban Arts Festival run by the Community Art Class is coming up on Saturday, May 13th. There will be a local business there as well as food trucks and live music. But in order to have live music, we need musicians. If you're a musician in any way and are interested in performing during the fair, you can scan this QR code on the screen or email the Community Art Class at glhscommunityart@gmail.com. Again, that's glhscommunityart@gmail.com.
Well, Lincoln, we have come to the end of our show.
Yes, but before we go, just a quick reminder that Link Crew applications are due today, so remember to get them in.
We hope you guys enjoyed this special edition of Lincoln Live.
We will see you Thursday, Lincoln.
Bye!